Hey guys, what's up? Raka here, and we're now going to go through your transformation overview. So this is essentially how the program will run over the next 12 months. Okay, now look, there's a lot in it, so you need to make sure we break it down and we take it step by step. Otherwise, you get stuck into overwhelm, analysis paralysis, and you won't make progress, because it's not about being perfect on the first go. It's about making progress. Right? As long as you're making progress, then you get there. Okay, at the end of these 12 months, you get there, you get where your body not only truly wants to be, but where you truly do deserve to be. So first things first, the starting place, okay, where this all happens is your goal. Okay, we need to have crystal clarity on your goal. We need to know exactly what it is, and we need to know why it is important to you. How is it going to make your life better? Why is this worth achieving? Then the first step is preparation. Okay, we need to make sure your mind and body is ready for this huge transformation, because it's not just going to change your body, it's going to change your whole life. The next step is focus. Okay, we need to make sure you're focused, you're on point, so that you're able to make progress consistently, you're able to stay on track, and you're able to love the process as well. I know that sounds crazy, but that's what happens. The next step is perform. Okay, we need to make sure your body is ready. Your body is okay to start taking on the exercise, start taking on the change, and that you're going to move quickly, progress quickly, and we're not going to get stuck on any roadblocks. Then after that, we've got what we call burn. Okay, this is the exercise part. This is where we actually start to get your metabolism. We start to change your metabolism so that you're burning fat not just when you're working out, okay, not just when you're in the gym, when you're running, but all day, every day, 24/7, 365 days a year, because that's where the magic happens. Then the next part is energize. Okay, this is to make sure that you recover properly, you recover quickly, so you don't get stuck into fatigue, you don't get overtired, and you're able to keep moving forward, keep exercising, stay on track with your macronutrients, feel awesome, and always make progress, because that's really what it's about. Even if the progress is small, it's consistency over big numbers and big jumps, because that always yields results time and time again. And then the last part is measure. Okay, we need to know where you're at. We need to know where you start at. We need to know where you're at now, and we need to know where you're at as you progress. Because if we don't know where you are and we can't measure, then we can't make the necessary adjustments. Okay, because there's a good chance you may fly through this program, and if you're ahead of the curve and we're not measuring that, then the program's going to hold you back. Okay, so if you're not measuring, it's going to be very, very difficult for me to help you out as much as I truly can. So measure every party, every month, and we'll celebrate your success together. Now, the most important part of this, okay, look, this is a life-changing program. There's a lot in this, and there's going to be a few new concepts, okay? The most important part of this is what we call the Superwoman 6, okay? And the first one is you need to think long-term. Look, results do happen, okay? They do happen quickly, but they don't happen overnight. And, there's no quick fixes here. There's no fad diets. And some of the things may take a couple of months, a couple of weeks to get started and get going. It's like when you go outside and if you plant a tree, that tree doesn't sprout from the seed instantly, okay? There's what we call lag time. It takes time for it to grow, okay? It takes time for momentum to build. It takes time for synergy to build, but once it does, the results start to increase exponentially, okay? We need to make sure we stay focused long-term and not get stuck on the short-term pain or the short-term gain, because that is always delivered in such small doses. Long-term is where it's at, baby. The second one is we need to make sure we're goal-orientated. So many times I see people get caught in the process and lose focus of actually why they're doing it. Because, sometimes going to the gym can be tiring. Sometimes logging your food can be tedious, okay? But when we get altitude above it and put it in perspective as to what it will really give us, okay, it's such a tiny step. But if you don't put it in perspective and you don't compare it, then sometimes people do get stuck in the process and they do get caught up, and that's why they end up failing, which is why you're here, because you're not ready to fail. You're staying goal-orientated, you know exactly what you want to achieve, and you know why it's going to make a difference in your life. And the third one is we need to do what we call major in the majors, okay? Don't major in the minors. If there's a problem, if there's a big white elephant in the room and you know it's a problem, Don't busy yourself with other small problems that you think, you need to fix to make yourself feel better. Major in the majors. If there's a problem and you feel you can't tackle it, get in touch with me ASAP. Get in touch with everyone in the group, and we'll make sure we get that handled quickly, because the major problems, make the major difference. It's the 80-20 rule. We want to tackle 20% of the problems, 20% of the situations, 20% of the strategies to give you 80% of the results. We're not here to major in the minors. All the other diet plans do that. We're here to major in the majors and get you real results. Putting in the minimal amount of effort to get you the best results possible. But we can only do that if you're majoring in the majors. We need to aim for progress, not perfection. We don't want to get stuck in analysis paralysis and try and get everything perfect and end up wasting a whole lot of action time. It's about getting things started quickly, getting momentum, and fixing them along the way. Because if you do that, your results will be 10 times greater than if you try and get them perfect first time, every time. Because that will never happen, and it will just leave you feeling demotivated, which is what so many people do and why so many people fail. But that's why you're here, because you're here to succeed. You're here because you're not going to get stuck in analysis paralysis. You're going to start taking action and move things quickly. The next one is give 5%. 5%, that's all I need to give. You need to give an extra 5%, because most people get good results. And the difference between getting good results, and I'll be honest with you, we're not here to get good results. Anyone can get you good results. Anyone can get good results by themselves. We're here to get outstanding results. The difference between good and outstanding, is only ever 5%. You don't need to do twice the amount of work to get twice the amount of results. You only need to do an extra 5%. I mean, think about it. Usain Bolt, the fastest runner on the planet, the guy that came second, he didn't do half as much training as Usain Bolt. Usain Bolt didn't even do an extra 50%. It's that extra 5 minutes, that extra 10 minutes on the track, that extra sprint, that extra lap, that extra day per year that Usain Bolt did that gave him that edge. And it's only that edge that he needed to get him across the finish line first. You don't need to do twice as much work to get twice the results. When you feel like you're stuck and you can't go anymore, that's when it counts. That's when you need to give that 5%. I mean, you think about it. If you're working out in the gym and you need to do 10 squats, which one of those squats do you think gives you the most growth, gives you the most progress? I guarantee you it's not number 1. I guarantee you it's not even number 9. Sometimes it's not even number 10. It's number 11. When you push yourself for that one more rep, for that extra 5%, that's really, really where the magic happens. I can't stress this enough. Because if you get and push that 5%, you will get not just good, but outstanding results. And that is truly what you deserve. That's why you're here. We're here to get outstanding results, nothing less. And the last one is you need to come from honesty. You need to be honest with two people. You need to be honest with yourself, and you need to be honest with me. Because I'll be honest with you. If you're honest with me, we'll get better results together, because you'll be able to help yourself more. I'll be able to help you more, and we'll make much, much, much faster progress, and the process will be so much smoother. So they are our Superwoman 6. If you stick to those, then I guarantee you're not going to just get exceptional results, but you're going to enjoy the process as well, which is not something that many people say that they can experience when trying to change their body. They say it's a grind, they say it's hustle, they say it's hard work, dedication. If you stick to these Superwoman 6, not only will you get exceptional results, you love the process too. Now, one thing that we need to know, I know I mention it a lot, but it's because it comes up a lot, and it's the one thing that holds people back the most from not just committing to themselves, not just from changing their body, but from being totally happy in the way that they look and the way that they feel. And that's fear, That's fear when it comes time to make a choice, when it comes time to make a decision. Because I guarantee you this is going to come up. And it'll probably come up in other areas as too, but it will definitely come up with your body. It will definitely come up with your exercise. It will definitely come up with your food, And anytime you make a decision, fear is going to come up in your body. It's going to be a physiological reaction, a physiological feeling. And the bigger the decision, the more you're going to feel it. The thing you need to know is that fear is built into us. It's built into our nervous system, into our body, because back in the day when we were being chased by tigers, hunted down, chased by elephants, and we had to run, we had to survive. If we weren't able to make a decision quickly, okay, we weren't going to survive. And that's what fear did for us. Fear gave us the ability to make a decision quickly, to make an instinctive, protective decision quickly. The problem is, though, that's an outdated mechanism. It's an outdated technique. We are no longer being chased by tigers and elephants. We no longer need to run to save our lives, okay? Fear does not play a part in this age. Fear is great when we're trying to survive. The problem is, though, you are not here to survive, okay? We are here to thrive. And if you're going to thrive, the only way to do that is when it comes time to make that decision, which it will, you need to put fear to the side, move forward, move past fear, put that 5% in and push through so you can get that breakthrough and so you can actually start thriving and stop surviving and make progress and truly, truly get towards your body. Because realistically, it's only that extra 5% you need. You don't need to push through for the next 12 months, okay? You only need to push through for 5% because you're already capable of doing 95% of it. In fact, you've probably already done 95% of it a few times. Statistics show people will do or a weight loss program 5 times before they get results. But they do the same thing 5 times. They get through 95% of the program, and then they stop, and then they give up, because that last 5% is where they need to make that decision, where fear comes up, and they're just not willing to put it to the side. And it takes them 4 or 5 goes, as statistics shows, to actually make that decision, okay? You're here because I know you have the capability to make that decision instantly, and now I'm asking you to action it every time you get presented with that decision. And it's like, willpower is like a muscle, right? The more you use it, okay, the more you conquer that fear, the stronger you will become at it. And the stronger you become at it, that builds synergy. And synergy always, always builds results and momentum. And once you put those two together, that's a deadly, awesome combination. So don't forget, when that decision comes time, put fear to the side, tell it it's no longer time to survive, it's your time to thrive. Let's do this, let's rock and roll. We're absolutely going to crush this program. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, live body confident.